Faith, an amazing attribute. Why? Because faith is not seeing the evidence, but still believing. Believing in something you've never seen. So much so that we can look up in the sky and not see God physically, but we know he's there just by the evidence, like Romans 1:20 tells us. We can see by a bird flying that someone put it there. And so creation is evidence of the glory of the fact that there is a creator. And so when we think of faith, we can think of the Israelites and how the Israelites had evidence of their unseen abilities of their creator. How? Because the Most High fought for them when they were good. They were victorious over all of their enemies, and they were prosperous in everything that they did when they followed their creator. So therefore, as their children grew older, the children after them, if they did not witness the events of the parting of the Red Sea, if they were not witnesses to the events of the victories in war, then it was their parents' job to daily and weekly share with them what they had seen. Therefore, a parent could say, "We were slaves in Egypt. We were under such a heavy yoke. And then the Creator came to us and sent a deliverer, Moses. And Moses enabled us as a mouthpiece to make it out of Egypt through the power of the Most High. There's no way our people could have accomplished this victory without the Most High being on our side and enabling us to conquer the yoke and to remove it of the Egyptians." And therefore, telling these stories over and over again to their children of things that they had seen the Father do, then in actuality, the children were eyewitnesses to the events because they are their forefathers. How about someone who is not of the loins of those children of Israel? How is it that they can be told something and believe it and change their lives to such a degree that they begin to live righteously, live Torah by faith, and change their entire world? Is there a blessing for this? Well, there's one person that we can look at and find out if somehow he lived by the loins that he came from and became blessed, or was he blessed because he had faith that he had never had evidence of? Not even his father's fathers could give him evidence of that wonderful victory that the Father had on the nation. Who is this person? Well, we are going to delve into the man Job. And what a wonderful man this was, because he lost everything. Was willing to forsake his own flesh so that he could put the Creator before everything that would bring him comfort. A man that suffered and had patience and lived faith. Job. Who was Job? Was Job witness to the events that would build his faith? Or was Job someone who was not a witness, never even told about the beauty of the Creator and what he had done in the land of Egypt, what he had done in the victory of war? But somehow he heard and he had faith. Let's see who Job was. Let's go to Lamentations 4:21, and let's get a clue into this man Job. Lamentations 4:21. And there it tells us this: "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz." U-Z. The land of Uz, we are being told, is where the Edomites lived and dwelt. Who were the Edomites? Well, the Edomites, if you know the story of the twins, Jacob and Esau, you know that Esau was one of the twins who gave up his birthright for a bowl of soup And then Esau became the progeny of this nation that would later be called Edom. So let's read this verse again. Lamentations 4:21, it tells us this. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwelleth in the land of Uz. Let's continue. Let's go to Job, the book of Job, chapter 1, and we'll read verse 1. Job 1:1. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. What clue are we given here? We just read in Lamentations 4:21 that Uz was the land that the Edomites lived in. Job 1:1 tells us that there was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. So here we have a certain clue. Job lived in a land of a certain nation of people, the land of Edom, which was in the land of Uz, where the Edomites lived. What was Job doing living in a land of the Edomites? Was he an Edomite or was he a Hebrew? Well, let's continue in this thought process here. Now, we have to kind of look at other things because remember, Job had companions. He had people that he associated with. Who were these people that he associated with that we can actually get clues on more of Job? Job chapter 2, verse 11 tells us this. Now, when Job's 3 friends heard of all this evil that had come upon him, they came, every one from his own place, Eliphaz the Temanite, and Bildad the Shuhite, and Zophar the Naamathite. So here we can see these people that were from these different nations, the Temanites, the Shuhites, and the Naamites, and their names were Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar. Now, what was Job doing associating with these people that were from the land of Uz or from these other nations? Well, in verse 11 of chapter 2 of Job, it tells us that now when Job's 3 friends. So Job had a companionship with these people. They were someone that he associated with often. And remember, Job was living in the land of Uz. So let's continue in this thought process and let's read another scripture. Let's go to Genesis chapter 36. Now, when we read Genesis chapter 36, it kind of takes us off what the chapters before 36 were speaking of. Before 36, we were getting the genealogy of a people, and they were the Hebrews. Now in chapter 36 of Genesis, it changes. So we're going to find out how and why. I'm going to come back with a part 2 of this video. Hold on. Shalom.